Before we can write our first JavaScript program, we need the right tools. Luckily, JavaScript doesn't require much. We only need a web browser like Google Chrome. So the first step is installing Node.js, because if you don't install Node.js, you cannot run any JavaScript file on your computer. Second, we need a code editor like Visual Studio Code. You probably already have a browser installed on your computer. Whether that is Firefox, Safari, they are all totally fine. So, we need to install the code editor. Let's install Node.js. App should simply type Node.js and you should press enter, and as you can see, this is the first website. You should click on it. So as you can see, it says download Node.js LTS. It means long-term support. You should click on it, and now you should wait for the download process. That said, you can see we have downloaded this file. So this is the file we have downloaded. So I double click on it, and here I press next, and I accept, and I press next. Here once again I press next. Once again I press next. I don't want to check this one. If you want to check it, so I press next and press install, and I shall wait for the installation process. That said, you can see Node.js has been successfully installed. So now we want to download and install VS Code. In order to do so, we simply type VS Code download, that's it, and click on this link. And because I'm on Windows, I click on this one, and I shall wait for the download process. So this is the file which I have downloaded, so I shall double click on it, and here I should accept the agreement. I click on this and I press next, and here the install location, I press next, and I press next, and I press next, and I press install, and I should wait the installation process. That's it. I should check this one, launch Visual Studio Code, and I press finish. And here is Visual Studio Code, so I maximize it, and in this page, so as you can see, I want to use this one, Dark Modern. And here I scroll down and I click next section, and here I click on mark done. So now, in order to create a new JavaScript file, I should click on this one which says explore, so I should click on it. So here, because my files, my JavaScript files or whatever are going to be stored in a folder I showed. So I click on this open folder. For example, suppose that I want to choose this folder, and I press selected folder. And it says, do you trust the authors of the files in this folder? Yes, I trust, so I check this one and I click this one, and now let's create a JavaScript file. In order to do so, here as you can see, one of the icons is this one which says new file. I click on it and then want to create a file. For example, called code01.js, and I press enter. So first of all, let's close this welcome tab. As you can see, this is the welcome tab. I want to close it. And also I want to change the font size, and I want to make it bigger. In order to do so, I go to the file, then preference, and then settings, and here I simply type fonts. And this is the thing I want to change. I want to change it, for example, 30. That's it, and I close this. As you can see, the font size has been changed. So now let's type something. Let's type a very simple thing. I simply type console log, and let's type, for example, hello. That's it. And now I want to run this program. The easiest way is using an extension, so because there are other ways as well, but the easiest one is using extension. So in order to do so, I click on this one, says extension, and here I simply search for Code Runner. And as you can see, this is the extension, so I click on it and I press install. That's it. You can see we have installed this extension. So I close this one and I go this and Explorer tab, and now as you can see we have this icon which is the run code icon. But now if you click on this, nothing is going to happen. So let's click on it, and as you can see, it's running this code. and it says that the running process has been done, but you can't see anything in the output. Maybe you as well. The reason is that you haven't saved your code, and this is the sign. This white circle means that you haven't saved your file. So I should press Ctrl S my keyboard order to save this code, and after that I should click on this run icon, and now I can see that result. By the way, this is output tab. You can see the previous ones as well. As if you want a clear, it's very easy. You should right click on it and clear output. That's it, and let's close.
Alright, so JavaScript is one of the 3 core languages of websites. Now, the first one is HTML. We've already seen that. It controls the structure of your web page via HTML tags. The second one is CSS, and this is more to do with the presentation and design of your website, so you can change colors or change the layout of your HTML in CSS. And the third one is JavaScript, and JavaScript is responsible for adding additional behavior and interactivity to your website to make it more interesting. So say for example you had a website with a gallery on, and in that gallery you want users to be able to click to zoom in and out of your images. If you wanted to do that, then you, my friends, would probably need JavaScript to do it. Now, JavaScript is a scripting language, and many programmers will just disregard it as a scripting language, not a programming language. And by that, they mean it's intentionally limited. It doesn't have the same features as other programming languages such as C#, C++ or Java, in that it can't communicate with databases directly or file systems on a computer, among other things. However, its intended purpose was to add interactivity and to manipulate web pages, and for that, my friends, it's magnificent. Now, JavaScript is a client-side language, and essentially what that means is that it runs on your computer, in your browser. Okay, so when you type in a URL into your browser, that communicates with a server. It gets the information from the server, which brings it back to your computer in the browser and displays it to you in the form of a web page. And that, my friends, is a combination of HTML, CSS, and probably JavaScript. So all of those 3 run on your browser, on your computer. That's what it's meant by a client-side language. This is different from other programming languages such as Ruby on Rails, PHP and ASP.NET. They all run on a server. So if you go to a website running one of these technologies, you'll type in the URL, communicate with the server, the code will run on the server and then send the results of that code to your web browser where it's displayed in a web page. So JavaScript is client-side, other programming languages are server-side. I would say also not to rely on JavaScript to add functionality to your website. Now, imagine you had a website and it sold items online. If you were to add some kind of behavior to that website which relied on JavaScript, for example, a user couldn't add an item to their shopping basket without JavaScript enabled, then that website is not very good. You want to make a website that's going to be accessible to everyone regardless of whether they're using JavaScript or not. So make it without JavaScript first, make sure it runs completely fine on its own, and then add JavaScript to it to give it that magic touch and the added interactivity. And finally, I'm going to say this, JavaScript is not and has nothing to do with Java. Java is a completely separate language, and JavaScript is just a name that was given to it while Java was really popular, so they jumped on that bandwagon. The official name for JavaScript is ECMAScript, but we all refer to it as JavaScript. So that's about it for this introduction to JavaScript. I hope now you've got a broad view of what it is and what it can do. In the next lesson, we're going to start using it to create our first JavaScript program. I'll see you guys then.